It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The Value of Wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut this shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. This
is the Value of Wrestling on the Big Tyme, and I'm here with some great news. Are you a Funko Pop collector? Are you searching for some hard-to-find Funko Pops? Are you just looking to complete a collection? Well, the Value of Wrestling is teamed up with the Goldmine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Goldmine, which can be found on Facebook, or by going to the description below and clicking the link, you can sign up to join the Goldmine, who will help you find those hard-to-find, rare pops. They'll help you complete your collection. Just let them know when you're signing up what Funko Pops you're looking for, and that the Value of Wrestling sent you. The Goldmine, the ones that are going to help you to find those rare-to-find pops and help you finish your collection. All can be done at the Goldmine. Sign up today and make sure you tell them the Value of Wrestling sent you. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're here. I think we've arrived. I think we're on the mothership that is called the Value of Wrestling. We are here. This is your weekly roundup podcast. We're going to wrap up the week of professional wrestling right here on the Value Wrestling YouTube channel. So hopefully everything looks pretty lottie-dottie, looking beautiful tonight. Because we're here. Jump in the chat, jump in the conversation, tell us what you're thinking about, how you're feeling about this week of professional wrestling. But we are here on the Big Tyme, along with the Paulus Clarke and the Mr. Miguel Z. You know us. We are the three-man team, not the three-man band, because we do it better than they ever would do it. And that's just a fact. You can take it to the bank and cash it. And if you don't like that, then I don't know what to tell you. If you're getting your feelings in the bunches, if your panties are all toasted, I guess you need to get over yourself, because what is going on is sad and pathetic. You know, hey, when you make a statement that's simply in play and somebody gets their feelings so hurt that they got to go for the low-hanging fruit for a week comeback and then block you on X because they don't like the fact that you're talking a little smackety, I don't know what to say to you. And you know what? Hey, maybe somebody will tell AJ Francis, former top dollar, that he's got $0, that the Value of Wrestling is going to talk about him, because this fool wanted to go on X today and talk about the chance for Joe Hendry at NXT Battleground, which we're going to break down for you and talk about a little here tonight. But he got mad because people were chatting Joe Hendry. He went on X and called him stupid. And I said, you know what? Go dive over a top rope. Oh, that's right. You can't. My bad. And this fool went for bottom line, says, I can't make a woman do something in a sentence. Yeah, I can't finish a woman. There you go. Then blocked me before he even allowed me to make any comebacking statement. Then rode his high horse like he was something special. Blocked Mr. Miguel Z for, well, we don't know yet. We're still trying to figure that out.
I didn't say anything!
He's still playing buddy with Mr. Clarke, and that might be the dangerous thing there on that note. But, yeah.
Well, not just that. Look, real quick, I mean, and he's got his little fanboy who's got, like, slim to no followers going for the even lower hanging fruit, having the nerve to talk about my wife. Hey, bro, I'm sorry. Be jealous that my life is better than yours. I'm married, I have kids, and damn it, yes, unlike certain individuals, I can finish the job.
That's neither here nor there. That's just low-hanging fruit. I don't even care about that. But these other fellows that are out here talking smack, I mean, we've talked about AJ Francis on here, but I've never think we talked about Tony D'Angelo. I don't think there's anything in the world, and so I'm confused. I mean,
no,
people are making.
I totally forgot. When you brought it up, I was like, holy smokes!
No,
like,
and then, you don't really talk NXT on here.
Not really. No. And I
never at least not on the live reviews.
I don't know where somebody's getting.
Big Tyme, I believe he
top dollar. Tony D'Angelo. I have nothing against Tony D'Angelo. I barely know anything but the basics about him. But yeah. Marty Richards has been blocked by Top Dollar too.
Yeah, apparently because he's called Marty about his hundreds of followers, and like that really bothers us. Like, bro, our feelings ain't the ones that's hurt here. You guys are blocking us.
No, why?
I mean,
well, here's the bigger question: why we're doing if there whatever wrestling smack talk is going on? Why is anyone getting personal?
Yes,
because their feelings are hurt. That's what it is. They don't have the life we have, and their feelings are getting hurt. And I invited them. I said, hey, we're going live right now. Come join us.
If you want to be a cowboy, shoot.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You want a screenshot of a pic of my wife, bro? Take that to your bedroom and do what you got to do and enjoy yourself.
Don't tell her that stuff, man.
I'm telling the guy that screenshot her face.
I know.
Like, come on now. I wasn't getting personal, but I mean, did he get a little soft around the edges when I mentioned it's gonna take, when I simply asked the question of how long it'll take to find something? I mean, I'll wait, but it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. They're shooting stuff when you after family, when it gets personal, and it was just a wisecrack. I mean, it's like, for me, my comment came out of a storyline gesture. Joe Hendry had already made this song about AJ Francis about not being able to jump over a top rope.
Exactly.
He was saying, oh, people are stupid for chanting AJ or Joe Hendry at a NXT event, so I just went for what was in the storyline. Why he got so upset and went in the direction he did, I don't know. People want to say I got cooked. I'm like, you're saying because I can't finish a woman, I'm getting cooked. And the fact that he blocked me right away, well, didn't allow me for it to come back. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say he cooked me when there wasn't much to say. And again, to me, that's always like the low-hanging thing. That's what you go for. I mean, that's your response to something. Who the freaking
You're supposed to be a professional wrestler. You're supposed to be able to know how to cut a promo and can't even do it on X.
I know. I mean, it's
it's that simple. Is the realm now? I'm not speaking for all pro wrestlers. We respect the hell out of you fellas, because what y'all do, guys and gals, and everybody else in between, what y'all do is way more than what we can ever do. Some of us has tried and it didn't work out very well, but I'm just saying, what y'all do, we appreciate y'all.
For sure.
But grow a thicker skin. If you want to be a heel, grow a thicker skin.
If you're a heel,
I mean, Cornette speaks it all the time.
Yes. If you're a heel and there's storylines and somebody makes a comment that's fitting into that I don't think, necessarily blocking them or going that deep. That when you go into that level, that's not being a heel. I mean, if you would have had a heel comeback, that would have been fine. We could have had a good laugh. We could have moved on. But then you blocked me. I mean, we even, I got tampon bucks back here. I mean, even the tampon bucks, fear the value of wrestling, it seems like. They blocked us. But, we're not big. I'm not big fans. I mean, I can't speak for my boys, clear, but I'm not big fans of their current storyline, their current gimmick, or been barely a big fan of the tampon bucks. But I do respect what they do in the ring. I have to respect what they are. But I mean, at least I have to give them more validity in blocking me than AJ Francis. And yes, they're the tampon bucks. Because I mean, when you show up in white suits covered in blood, what do you look like?
Why do you block me? Why do you block me? I didn't even say anything yet.
You were going to get your butt blocked anyways, because you had a comment that you were going to come back with anyways. So don't even act like you're Mr. Perfectly Innocent in this. He shot for low hanging fruit. You were going for other low hanging fruit. So I mean,
I was shooting for the lowest.
I mean, you can kind of wonder why you got blocked, but the end result was you were going on a blocked mission. I mean, you were already setting up the gates, going, oh, you coming after my boy? Well, it's time to go to war. Pull out the big gun.
Hey! I threw on the Captain Satan cape. I was ready to go. Come
on. Let's see. No need. Then why do it? Make it make sense.
For
you're fans of them.
Here we go, and I got one.
They're 10 times better than you.
Why did
because you say okay? I don't care.
Why did Sean Ross Sapp block me? I mean, I didn't say anything to him.
I don't know.
Like,
anyways, welcome to the party. Welcome to the chat. Join us in the conversation below. We are talking about some basically stuff that went down on X during the NXT Battleground. Something that was simply laughable for the most part. I mean, I told AJ Francis, go dive over the top rope because he didn't like the Joe Henry chants. And then I said, oops, you can't. My bad. I thought that was a simple, fun, haha, poke the bear a little bit, as a gentle shot, but I guess that really got him in his feels. So, AJ Francis,
That's your bottom dollar.
Breaking news: friend of Value of Wrestling, AJ Kirsch, is back in first place.
Nice.
Woo!
Yes, if you check the description below, you can figure out how to help our buddy, our pal, AJ Kirsch, stay at the #1 in the Mr. Men Health and Fitness. I forget what it is, but there's that whole description down there. It's going to give you all the attention. He's raising money for childhood cancer. Go down there, click the link, go vote for him. You get 1 free vote a day, or you can buy more votes. That's what you're helping donate. That money will go to the charity that he's working for. That's how that all works. Get the details, do that, have fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. So... yes, he's back at #1. That's good to hear. Congratulations, AJ. We'll be seeing him real soon, hopefully at Stockton Con in July, and then we can pin him down and go 2-on-1 as we finally get a date and a time and a place for an interview.
Exactly.
No,
But,
no, Mr.
we
Clarke,
might as well go ahead and throw the-
no. I see you over there giggling. I see you want to say something. I said go 2-on-1 on AJ Kirsch, and you
I
lit
got a
up.
bloody word to say.
Yes, yeah, I know, but it's written all over your
Billy.
face. I said we're going to go 2-on-1 and pin him down, and Mr. Clarke's eyes and his face, he just lit up like,
That's what I was
and
saying.
I'm like,
That's why I said, oh, Billy.
don't pop off. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is still somewhat of a family show. You know, we're PG here. We try to be. Don't get us started, though.
Well, here we
Well,
go.
likely they say something about Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay, that I'm about you guys. Okay.
Wait.
Well, they make it too. They make no. They make it too easy. They just scream stuff. Anyways.
Can we go ahead and break the real news here, though? Big Time. I mean, where are we going this Saturday?
Well, we're going to get there. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. If we dump everything at the beginning of the show, then I don't have stuff to fill in the show later. You know, you got to kind of, it's like, let's give a little bit of candy, a little bit of treats, talk about a little something, and it makes for great segues. So when we change from talking about one thing,
I got treats over here somewhere, but
not your doggy treats and not the treats that you. Yeah, we won't go there. We're going to stay PG. We're going to keep it safe and sound.
No, AJ ate all of them.
You know what? AJ might need some of your treats. You got some of those good gummies, right? Maybe that'll help him, Maybe he'll feel in the Monet.
It'll make you feel good.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man.
It's a pandemic, folks. It's a pandemic. It's going to cross the world, and everybody's going to do it.
It's an epidemic.
And it's all going to be thank you to Will Ospreay. It's not even you can't even say blame this one on Monet herself. You have to blame this on Ospreay because he's taking
this guy right here. This guy right here.
He's taking it around the world. I heard
he's
he's
the reason why we're doing this.
I heard he's trying to go down back to soft ground wrestling and get a whole group of
Oh, jeez.
And that's soft ground wrestling. That's not SAWFT soft like AJ Francis, but that's a different story.
Man.
I guess we'll get into what just ended tonight. That'll be the topic we'll start off with. We're not going to get into a detail. I'm not going to pull up the notes and read match for match and detail how each match went. It's just going to be a synopsis. We're not we have times and places. Usually on catching up, you get your NXT information. So if you want to catch that should be on Saturdays, or it may come up in something else in between now and then. You never know when somebody might talk about 100% mark.
Catching up will stay on Saturdays. The weekend preview, we are moving to Sunday, and I hear Jane's going to have something new on Thursday.
There you go. So we'll see how that all goes moving forward. So a couple new different things there, and so be ready for that. But yeah, we're not going to get into a detail. If somebody else wants to get into all the details and give a full review of some kind on NXT, if you guys want that, hey, we want a review of the chat. You'll get some type of review. I won't promise all three of us are going to sit down and review the whole show. We all watched it, but we're not. I mean, I think we're starting to enjoy NXT. I think NXT may start taking a little more precedence. NXT showing a little more bright light than AEW and Dynamite right now. So maybe there's reason to start covering it a little more, paying attention to it a little more. But we're going to give that time and let it grow. But tonight, Battleground NXT, a solid good show. We open with the six women tag match. The Soul Snatcher from the top rope and then the Soul Snatcher from the ladder was impressive.
6 women wasn't a tag match.
Oh, tag. It was a six woman North American title ladder match. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. My brain's kind of combobulated. We got off on one thing when we started this show. We were hooping and hollering over stuff that happened on Twitter, and so trying to get all the details. Anyways, we had a 6-woman ladder match for the crown the first ever women's North American championship. And I don't know everybody's names in this. I know we had Last Legend, Soul, Ruka, Lonnie. Lona, great. I guess I have to do some looking up. Let's see here.
Lonnie Jordan, who wound up being the victor.
Yes. Yep, I know. We're not ready. We look bad. Hey, it happens. We weren't. I don't think we were all right looking at this. We got thrown off from the start of this show. We were running a little behind thanks to
from before the show. Dang. Yeah.
I know. So we had Sol Roca, Lash Legend, Mishin, Fallon Henley, Jada Parker, and Kalani Jordan. And I hope I pronounced all those names correctly. Anyways, it was a great ladder match. I mean, it was a very impressive ladder match for an NXT show for these 6 women for this Women's North American Championship. I think they did damn good in this. Even Mishin being in there, kind of the veteran presence out of all these names. Again, Sol Roca, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that 100% right. But she hit the Soul Snatcher, which I call the Soul Taker for some reason. But anyways, the Soul Snatcher from the top rope on one, and then went up the ladder and hit it again. And I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I'm a fan. Kehlani Jordan getting the win here, climbing up the top of the ladder, grabbing the title, becoming the first ever NXT North American Women's Champion. Good match.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, congratulations to the winner. But the person I continually be impressed the most is Sol Ruca, because the last time we saw someone that tall, that athletic, and eventually that blonde was Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
And to me, this is a totally different gimmick, but just as athletic. And so I'm just like, hey, we have a potential, winner here down the line. We got someone that you can really build on down the line.
No, good solid women's ladder match here. I mean, they put the ladder to play. They did a lot of great moves without doing over the top where we had to worry about somebody getting hurt. They did this where it was good, and you weren't necessarily, sitting in the corner going, oh, God, there was some impressive stuff. But, at least we weren't sitting here worrying about somebody getting dire hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Z, you're still flabbergasted with your buddy over there. I can see it. They're still posting stuff, and you're still in a war mind. I can tell.
No, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I mean, I'm taking the lead from you guys, man.
Well, the women's ladder match tonight. Were you there? Were you with us?
No, I missed most of it. That's why I was letting you guys kind of take the rein on that one.
Gotcha.
All right, we'll move along.
For a second, I thought we were gonna start here. Thought we were gonna start playing LL Cool J. It's time for war.
No, it's my wife's birthday, and I was in the middle of cooking her a fabulous meal. Thanks to Big Tyme over there sharing a picture of his meal. So I
decided it was a nice weather day.
To the missus.
I decided it was a nice weather day. It was a nice day to go out and grill, so I broke out the T-bones, nice big fat T-bones, and set them up on the grill. Baked potato, fully loaded, a little broccoli cooked on the grill too. Mwah. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, we'll move along to the NXT tag team titles. Axiom and
Nathan Frazier.
We're taking on the OC. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This was a good, solid match. I can't be mad that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson lost, even though I love to see them win more. But at the end of the day, they look good in getting the Young Bucks over here, and not the Young Bucks as in Matthew and Nicholas, the EVPs, but these young upcomers, and Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I mean, Axiom, formerly known as A-Kid, great talent here, some great moves that they pulled off here. It's good to see a win here. Hopefully this means that the OC, the club, Gallows and Anderson, whatever their names are, it looks like they're headed back to SmackDown in the main roster for now, because it looks like they're going to realign with AJ. Hopefully, please, Triple H, do something right with this group as we move forward. But Axiom and Nathan Frazier, good match. Really good match for these Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And not the Young Bucks, but just their Young Bucks.
No, it was a solid match, and even like, my wife asked the question. She was like, "Why are they down here?" And I was like, "They're doing what they need to do. Is give the rub, get more eyes back on the NXT product." Shawn Michaels is actually doing a damn good job down there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, why not put the names down there to give the rub for some of these younger cats, so when they are eventually ready, we know who they are too.
The Good Brothers. They were the Good Brothers in NXT. There you go. That's the other name.
Yeah, the Good Brothers did what they needed to do, and
the Good Brothers did a good job and deserve a good burger.
Yeah, no.
All right. From there, we had the Shayna Baszler versus Lola Vice underground match. This is something that NXT's picked up from what was Raw Underground. It's gone to NXT. They've done some decent things with it. It was okay. I don't know if I can ever get into this. I think there's a lot of people who are like, there's a place and a time for this, but not in a wrestling match. A lot of people are saying this would have been better if this would have been a straight-up Octagon match, especially since they were in the UFC Apex. Why couldn't they had the Octagon? Of course, I know they didn't have that much room, it was hard to say. Of course, maybe you start with this match and then change it. Maybe, in the pre-show you have this in a actual Octagon, and then you have enough time to hopefully take the Octagon down, put a ring up. I don't know how all that works. Was there some other place where they could... Exactly. Or was there some other place they could have done this in an Octagon? In this ring, it was okay. It wasn't fancy. The worst part was more of the aftermath. Lola Vice out there dancing, and later on she was dancing with some random commentator and Sexy Red, and then it really just felt like AEW had creeped on NXT TV for a moment there, and I was like, no. Leave the dancing at AEW, not this. And so, yeah. But Lola Vice getting a win, which I know Mr. Clarke would have really loved to see Shayna Baszler in her style, in her type of fighting win this, which you can't hurt her. But, again...
Here was my thing, too, is like, Shayna just coming off of a big win from Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Like, it would have made more sense. Like, you were already in that realm. Like, go ahead.
Like I said off air, this is NXT. The main roster stars here just to make the young ones look good, and that's all this was. They were making Lola Vice look good and set her up. Whether we necessarily agree with it or not, it was what it was. And Underground's more of an NXT thing than a whole roster thing. So
that's true. Also, the little dancing Lola Vice did and everything else. I've seen a lot of clips on TikTok where a lot of these mixed martial artists, before or after a match, will be doing these kind of dances. So it's actually not necessarily out of character, and it's not out of her character.
Yeah.
On NXT.
There's just nothing here that was interesting to me. I don't really get these matches. I'd rather it be an Octagon. I don't know enough about Lola Vice to get excited. She looked itty bitty compared to Shayna Baszler, so I was kind of shocked that Shayna Baszler didn't rip her arms off and start beating with them. Because, if you looked at him, when you looked at him fighting, Lola Vice looked like a little girl compared to Shayna Baszler. So I'm just like, the optics, and then having what should be a true fight, even though it's a scripted fight, it's still like in this realm where it's not all straight up fighting. Because I think if that would have been...
What I did enjoy about this match was that they had more boxing in it, as opposed to a regular pro wrestling match.
Yeah.
So they did, the difference in style was kind of nice, for a one-off.
Yes, it's still scripted. I think that's what hurts. They just need to let these women go, let win who wins. Because I think Shayna Baszler would have broken this girl's arms off and beat her with them.
Okay, we've seen that before. It's called Brawl for All, and so see how that didn't go well.
But that was poorly executed, and they didn't think that Bart Gunn would have gone ham and became Donkey Kong on everybody. They didn't think he was. That was all set up to make Doctor. That was even scripted. It was supposed to be set up to make Dr. Death Steve Williams look like a badass. And unfortunately, Bart Gunn outshined. And then they decided to bring Butterbean in there, and then Butterbean knocked out the guy that had knocked out everybody and made them all look like jokes. So that is slightly different than what I would think if you had a true UFC type of fight. I'd rather see something like we saw with, what was it, Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart, or who was it that got in the Lions Den?
Lions Den match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan Severn.
Yeah, Dan Severn.
And whoever else yeah.
Well, it was Ken Shamrock saying, I think he did one with Dan Severn, but there was somebody else he did. I think he did one with Owen or somebody around that level. I forget. It's been a long...
Owen. He did one with Owen.
Okay.
Yeah, Owen was like the first. So, yeah.
It's been a long time since that. But I'm like, if we're going to do that, then let's make it a real fight. Let's put it in an octagon. Because I think Shayna Baszler in a real straight-up MMA fight would have, torn that little girl apart.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to move on. You're always welcome to join us in the chat. Join us in the conversation. Thoughts about Jill at the pay-per-view tonight? What's her name? Julia. There we go.
Julia, yeah.
I guess I missed them showing her at some point.
I don't recall seeing her.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing her. I don't recall any mentions of her. I know a lot of people were talking about it, but I could have missed it. There was a lot of things going on.
She's supposed to join the brand at some point.
Yes.
And still work for Marigold.
Yes.
But beyond that, we haven't really gotten any more updates.
From there, we had the...
I'm looking forward to it, though. Like, when she finally debuts, I mean, the world's ready for it. Let's make it happen already.
Here and there, and she looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not good. Don't do that. That's going crazy. We're going crazy a little bit. Anyways, we move on to the NXT North American Men's Championship now, where Obafemi
And Obafemi.
Obafemi defended his North American title against Wesley and Joe Coffey. This was a good, solid match. They gave you reasons in many different cases to believe that any one of these men was going to win at any moment. Gallus, that is Joe Coffey's group.
Yes.
Gallus came down and tried to interfere in this match. Being a triple threat, there's no disqualifications, and that's. But they came down and they took out Oba. Then Wesley got a couple moves out of that, and then Oba rose like the Phoenix, as they said on air, from behind them, took the most out, and finished off Joe Coffey for a big win here. This is a great showing for an overall match. I'm worried about Obafemi. I don't know how you take him down when you made him a monster. I mean, it's good to make a monster. I mean, Tony Khan, get your notebook out. Look how NXT's booking this guy. I mean, you have a handful. Brian Cage, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, Big Cass. I mean, Big Bill.
Brody King.
Yeah. That you could, book like this, but you fail. But, I mean, that's a different time and place. Anyways, my only concern is how are they going to take him out? They built him pretty damn strong at this point.
Well, the thing is, to me, he is the next homegrown variation of Brock Lesnar. He is the next big thing.
Yeah. Could be.
Now, I mean, from the start, now granted, they also would have required you to have watched earlier NXT.
Yes.
When they were just, kind of getting started with him. When they brought him back, though, to NXT, because there was a little while where he was gone for a little bit, they put the North American title on him. He started good. He's been doing good. That dude has just so much upswing and potential.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be fair to necessarily call him the next Brock Lesnar, but he's got that kind of potential, is my point.
No, I can see what you're trying to get at, but yeah, I can understand. We got to be careful about labeling yet, just because that's some big shoes to fill. I think they wanted that with Gable Stevens to really be the next Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle coming out of that genre. But this guy could be something. He could be the next big thing. At least that label, I think, would fit. I don't know if he can be the next Brock Lesnar, but he's got a lot of capabilities, a lot of opportunities here. It's just depending on how they book him going forward. Hi, Kitty.
And on top of his in-ring abilities, he actually can talk a bit better than Brock.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm just looking at him like he's massive. Big, solid dude. My wife looked at me and she goes, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Yeah."
I guess
him perfectly there.
I guess we should be glad he's not in AEW, because he'd probably be the sequoia under the learning tree. You'd have the redwood and you'd have the big sequoia.
You mean the sequoia planted next to the casting couch?
Anyways, shall we move on? The NXT Women's titles on the line against the TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace, making a appearance here again on NXT. And what a match! Both these women really brought a match. And I think Jordynne Grace helped make Roxanne Perez look like $1 million. I mean, it was just a great match. Both these women brought it. Jordynne Grace is stellar. What is going to happen in the future? How is this all going to play out? What is the deal between TNA and NXT? We're still waiting to see in WWE, but I mean, Jordynne Grace is pretty much made. We did get to see the two of the executives from TNA were there tonight in the audience. Christian was there, and somebody else. I forgot who else was there, but they did show
So the
footage of them.
TNA president was there when I can't say his name,
Yeah,
so I'm not even going to try. But executive producer Ariel, I don't know how to say the last name.
yeah,
And Gail Kim.
that
Gail
was it.
Kim, who's
Gail
also a producer,
Yes,
you know, for TNA, especially the women's division.
that's why I said two executives, and then Grisham, Jordan's husband or
There was
boyfriend. Yeah, there was three executives,
The
and then
husband,
yeah,
Jonathan
okay.
Grisham.
Jonathan Grisham. There we go. I knew it began with the J. I just couldn't get my tongue under. I knew it was Grisham, but yeah, Grisham was there tonight.
I'm a big Grisham fan, so I'm like,
Well,
I
Grisham
was
just
shocked
made
when
his
I seen the
comeback
audience.
with
I
a
was like,
whole different look too. So he's looking very appealing. Could we see him show up in NXT? This crossover could be interesting. Is there more to it? Is WWE in a slow process of purchasing TNA, or are they going to partner with TNA to maybe make it a brand, another type of development brand? Could we have a fourth brand under a WWE banner? Could WWE give life to WWE TNA or something? I don't know what's going on here, but with the big executives here, all these people here, it was very interesting to see. Hopefully this partnership works a whole lot better than some other programs and their partnerships. But this is a good solid match. Roxanne Perez came out looking stellar with this huge win over a Jordynne Grace, who is probably one of the best female wrestlers in the industry right now.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
I would say that she is probably outshining a lot of people. I mean, I would say Jordynne Grace would be a better female wrestler than Mercedes Moné.
The only reason why I pause is because Monet has potential, but she has to be under the right management. She has to be
exactly.
with the right company.
Well,
for her to bring out for the best to be brought out of her.
She's not there right
and
now.
her current company ain't doing it for her.
I mean,
when we talk about Jordynne Grace, real quick, if you don't mind me butting in real quick, I'm sorry, fellas. But the greatest line ever was the fact that her husband, Jonathan Grisham, retweeted the post when she showed up to NXT. And he said, "Hey, babe, I thought you said you was getting groceries."
Yes, I saw that.
I mean, can you really name anybody right now?
Bring back some gold.
Can you really name anybody right now that looks as good as Jordynne Grace in women's wrestling?
I mean, like I told you off here, I'm a big Steph DeLander mark in TNA.
There, yeah.
Well, there's other women in TNA that look definitely good. We also got to see Asher Elegance or Dana Brooke make a small return to WWE.
Oh, he almost slipped up too.
But I mean,
I still think that was by design.
Is there anybody? And I know you have a love over there. I know you have a heart for one female wrestler on AEW. But is there anybody that's in AEW right now that is booked or looks enough like they could stand in the ring and be a formidable force against a Jordynne Grace as they are currently being booked in AEW? No pass. Let's not count in the pass. Can't say, well, if they were still in TNA, they looked like this. I'm talking about AEW.
Curse you!
I
You
know
knew exactly where I was going with that.
We knew
They
where you were
have
going,
faced each
buddy.
other. Wifey has faced her.
I know, but Wifey looked good in TNA. Wifey don't look good in AEW.
Under the right booking? If she was under the right booking and there wasn't so much favoritism on some ends, I mean, Thunder Rosa would be one that would stand up toe to toe with her as well. If
I want to see Thunder
was done right.
If you want to talk about potential, then you would have Britt Baker out there. I mean, come on.
Right.
Does she still wrestle?
Last I heard, she was injured and she's still getting over it. I don't know what the deal
Well, that's
is.
like us asking Kip Sabian. We didn't even know he still worked there.
Didn't she get injured in like 2020? I mean, When was the last match? 2021. I mean,
match was in 23. Shut up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Please.
it's felt like forever. I mean,
Yes, it has.
what I understand, she's not injured anymore. But yeah, I mean, Britt Baker would be great, but I don't know. AEW. I mean, we'll get into all the AEW stuff here anyway.
But that's like MJF. That's someone who gets themselves over, not AEW getting her.
Well,
over.
and that's going to be another big one we're going to talk about. Is MJF going to be able to carry this new branding of AEW? Viewers are slightly coming back to see what he's doing, but I don't know if he's going to do it. But we're going to finish this up. Anyways, Roxanne Perez, Jordan Grace, great match. I mean, if you want to go back and watch it, they may have stolen the match.
yes.
They may have been the match for the night. They may have stolen the show. This is a damn
To me,
good
that
match.
should have been the main event. As much as I like who was in the main event, that match between Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez, I would have booked that as the main event personally.
But speaking of the main event, the NXT Championship online, it's Trick Williams. Whoop that trick came out to take on All Ego Ethan Page, who is officially signed to NXT, and he's NXT. And in the first minute of his debut with the smoke, the music, the entrance, Ethan Page looked 1,000 times better than he ever did on an AEW program. He looked legit. He looked like a threat, and I was dying for him to get the win. Was it realistic? No, but I mean, I would have loved to see him win an NXT Championship here tonight on his debut in NXT. I mean, like, yep, that would have been a way to stick it. You know, people want to say WWE is worried about AEW. I'm like, if they were worried, they would have stuck it to him on this one. But no, Trick Williams gets a great win here. They had a good, solid match. Can't wait to see what Ethan Page does. You know, we already see Lexus King is developing into something special, and all these names. And when Ricky Starks makes that jump over, cool. It's going to be awesome to see Ricky Starks here in NXT or on the main roster. I'm down for the trade. If Ricochet wants to leave and go over there, he can go over there, and we'll take Ricky Starks. I won't be mad about that one. I don't know if Ricochet is getting the best end of that deal, but that's kind of overall purpose, and I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about all that stuff in a second.
See Ricky Starks go from NWA Power to AEW and potentially to WWE. I mean, it's been a nice road, and it's been an uptick road just of talent he has, and NWA Power did the best they could to showcase it. AEW, however, has not. So then, whether it's NXT, whether it's main roster, doesn't matter. Wherever he goes, that next promoter is going to make the best decision of their lives by having Ricky Starks there.
Okay, somebody on Twitter says the talent that hasn't been on AEW television a month instantly gets us slotted into the main event of an NXT pay-per-view. But I was told AEW doesn't make stars. No, AEW did not make Ethan Page a star. He was a mid-carder at best. He was TNA definitely helped him, and now he's being used in a star role on NXT. So WWE is going to help continue that star growth from TNA. AEW did not make him a star. You can't even make that statement and be serious. He went to where he's going to get more attention and become a star.
Yeah.
AEW didn't make Jay Cargill a star. They had something. They packaged her semi in the right way, but they dropped the ball on that, and she left, and now she feels like $1 million on the main roster of WWE TV. Anyways, that was your NXT Battleground, a great little short pay-per-view. Perfect, enough matches, a little less than 3 hours. Right where it should be. A nice venue that I would have loved to go watch, because every seat in that place looked like you could actually see. Like, that would be a place I'd go watch. Because the seats were staggered in the right way. It was small. It was intimate. It looked like a great place to go watch a wrestling show. No, it wasn't a big 1,000, 3,000, 7,000, 10,000 seat arena. It was a small 700 seat arena that looked very awesome, very intimate, and would be a fun time to go watch wrestling. So, since we started,
I know a few people that went to that tonight, and
awesome.
they said that was incredible. They were like, it felt great. They were like, you couldn't have booked that in a better way.
Speaking of Ricochet, let's talk about it. The breaking news: Ricochet has come out and announced, and I talked this on a Big Time Rants, but I did say we'd come here and we'd have a little conversation. We'd have a roundtable. Ricochet has put in his notice, has announced to WWE that he does not plan to re-sign with the company, that when his contract comes up sometime this summer, he does plan to leave WWE. What does that mean? We don't really know. We could also be employed. This is wrestling. Anything could happen. We know he has this relationship with Samantha Irving. I don't know if he really wants to leave and maybe have a longer distance relationship. I mean, all these people make it work, and whatever they do in their personal life, it's theirs. But I don't know if there's. I look at it, I go, I don't know if the benefit's there for Ricochet to leave WWE. Now, granted, a lot of people are going to say Ricochet hasn't been used to the best of his ability in WWE. Seems more recently that he was he was starting to get that push, maybe. But yeah, granted, I don't think he's shown his full potential. Now, if he leaves WWE, he could go to AEW, which a lot of people are saying he's going to. We know Will Ospreay's already called him out, and I think that's an easy take my money match. Will Ospreay versus a full caliber Ricochet,
definitely.
But and of course he could go. Of course he could go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He'd go to anywhere on the indie scenes. He could do a whole Matt Cardona ride back to fame where he makes his name. He could go to TNA for fun. I don't know. Does he? I guess the big question is, it looks like he goes to AEW. Cool. He gets his match with Will Ospreay. We get an awesome match. It's going to be great ring action. After that, does he really benefit from going to TNA or going to AEW? I mean, what does AEW really offer a Ricochet other than maybe a Will Ospreay match and maybe a couple different matches? Granted, the in-ring works different. And we're going to talk about Tony Khan and his sickos, and we're looking at it in a different light now and giving it that. But I'm just like, if I'm Ricochet and I'm really looking at that, yeah, I'm probably going to have some great matches to begin with, but where does my career go? I don't feel he's going to get any place any higher on the card in AEW than he is in WWE. Unless Tony Khan's like, oh, it's another WWE guy. Let's put the title on him real quick.
I think it would be smart to do like a one-off in AEW, do a pay-per-view, do something like that. Mm-hmm. But in the long run, I would take the Matt Cardona run. Yeah. Just make your name on the indies and the international scene, and just make your money that way. It's merch. It's global fame. He has the global fame from his time in WWE. So all he has to do now is continue to build on it. The same way Matt Cardona did.
Yeah. I mean, hell, at this point, go to Mexico, rock the mask, be Prince Puma, because even that alone too would make money. Lucha Underground
has, I forget, the parent company owns that character.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
that's why a lot of unless they use the actual names or names that were used previous to Lucha Underground, that's why you don't see those characters.
That explains.
Even Penta.
That's
why he had to change his name.
Yes, that's right. Okay, my bad. But still, like, go to Mexico. They'll love his style out there.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I think his style where he can be in Thrall, he'll be loved anywhere. He can be loved on the independent scenes. He can be loved in New Japan. He can be loved in Mexico. He'll be loved in AEW. Granted, we can't take that away. I just don't think Tony Khan. I mean, I think you're right. I think he can go in there for a very short deal or a one-off. He goes faces Will Ospreay. We have that amazing match with Will Ospreay. He shines. He looks like $1 million. He takes that ride and goes on the independent scenes. He takes that ride to go to New Japan. But I feel if he goes in there and he's going to have a great match. And yes, he'll have a lot of great matches with a lot of great guys in AEW. Granted, it's not about the in-ring work. It's just Tony Khan will never book him to be anything more than another mid-carder. He is not going to AEW. Is not really going to change his position on the card. I don't see it. He's just. I think he's great. I think he deserves some title. I think, he would have been great to see him wrestle for a WWE World title, a Universal title, a high-end title, and actually have one of those amazing matches. But I think he goes to AEW. Will Ospreay looks like he's already going to... The rumor, the escalating, the story looks like Will Ospreay is beating Swerve at Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay is going to walk into All In as the AEW World Champion. Who faces him then, I don't know. But, I mean, great. Ricochet gets a world title match against Will Ospreay. That's cool. The match will be great. The match will be a 5-star banger. Dave Meltzer will cream himself and have a jolly good time, and he will sit there and he will bow down. We don't need to talk about
Uncle Dave no more.
He will bow down to Tony Khan and tell his nephew how great he is and how amazing he is and how good he does. And it'll be sicko Dave Meltzer, yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, we get that. I don't want people to think I'm taking away from what these people can and will do in the ring, because, granted, it'll be a great in-ring experience. But what do you do after that? What is really the benefit? And he's not, he might bring a few eyes to AEW, but again, Tony Khan showed us I'm booking for the sickos. Tony Khan is booking for his fan base and the fans that like what he does, and that's it. And so, I mean, there's only so much you can do with that.
You guys down there, you hear that? Tony Khan said he's booking for you.
Close the basement. Don't let them out.
Tell people in the basement.
Did you lock it? Did you secure it? Don't let them out.
You already have access to X as it is.
They're like that. They're like that group that you can only take out at certain times of the day, so they can go touch grass and get their little bit of vitamin D. But you got to make sure they're all holding hands. You got to kind of chain them together.
Pictures of my wife. I mean, either way, they can do what they want.
Yes.
It's okay.
Anywho, I guess that leads us right into the next part of all this. Tony Khan flat out says he's booking for the Sickos. What does that say for AEW? And can AEW ever be competitive? Is the war, the fake war, the pretend war, the war, whatever we want to call it, whoever says, they can say it's war. Does that pretty much just put a flag in it that the war is kind of over? I mean, maybe not for Tony Khan in his mind, like he's still going to be out here going, the bots are after me, and they're giving out fake ratings on my show, and I'm like, I don't think WWE's worried about you, and if you're booking for the Sickos, we know what you're booking for, and that's a small niche audience. And always will be. Go ahead, Mr. Z. I know you're hungry to bite.
What does that say for the women of AEW who blast these sicko fans all the time, but your boss is booking for them? What does it say for their big march to respect?
That does say a lot. That is an interesting thought to bring up. That Tony Khan wants to say, I'm booking for the Sickos, and the women of AEW are saying, we're tired of the sickos that do all these things, especially the creepers that creep around in the hotels and the airports that are stalking them. That is becoming the bigger thing. That's part of that sicko fan base. So if you're part of AEW, I guess you're supporting that. Mr. Clarke, I know you have a lot of thoughts here. I can see those gears grinding. I know you want to give some defense here, but
TNA put more of a fight in a war against Raw than AEW can produce presently.
Was that under the Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff regime?
Yes.
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 Oh.
They did more to actually.
Monday nights. They had Hogan and Bischoff and all that.
And they actually gave a
little
bit. Was that
before or after the Main Event Mafia?
That would have been before and after, I think, right? There was the original Main Event of Mafia, and then there was the second coming of the Main Event of Mafia. And it would have been the time of the Aces and Eights when they tried to do another version of a different twist on NWO that was actually pretty damn good. I think sometimes the Aces and Eights doesn't give enough credit. Now, granted, some of the directions they went way out there with Bully Ray marrying Brooke Hogan and then betray.
I was entertained by that shit.
It was entertaining, but it was entertaining, but I get where some people get like it really went way, Like, why do we have to bring her in? I get a lot of the little complaints there, but I do think that sometimes it doesn't give the credit it deserves. Because I think it was a really good gimmick.
No.
Was it a rebuild of the NWO? In a way, yes. It was something different, but it was that idea of a group of people.
My personal favorite moment of Aces and Eights was when Taz revealed himself as a member before Bully Ray was dubbed the member.
That's right.
No, all the reveals were pretty decent.
Well,
the twists and turns were fun.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's not an Ace and Eight moment. Sorry, that's a Team 3D moment that I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Putting Dixie Carter through a table.
Well, that was
yes.
more of the ending of the Dixie Carter TNA era. Yes, that was a highlight in there. But I thought one of the best things was we got to meet we got to meet the real Brooke Keschmacher. I think that gave a lot of shine to her. And unfortunately, there's a lot of names that, we got to see a lot of names there that we, Doc and Knox and a lot of guys that were there that we kind of liked in WWE that were kind of, here they were doing something. Of course, we got Garrett Bischoff and, who's the other young kid? It was Garrett Bischoff and another, was it a Briscoe boy?
Yes, it was a Briscoe.
Yeah,
I think
not Mark and Jay Briscoe, but it was another
Briscoe. We're not talking. Just so we're clarifying, folks.
Yes, no, I'm trying to make sure because there was Jarrett Briscoe, there was Garrett Bischoff, and then there was a Briscoe, which were the young boys of that group.
Yeah,
and they had great storylines of how those things came together.
But now we're in the era of believing in Joe Hendry, so I'm fine with the direction of TNA right now.
And actually, since you just went there, I'm going to go there too because
all right,
this is not a Clarke report. But
we will be getting
Joe
back.
Hendry
We
says-
will be getting back to AEW. We're just kind of sidewinding, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about AEW
well,
and the
this
sickos.
goes right into. I have something forward about Joe Hendry here.
Yes, no, I
That's
understand.
why I thought I'd go ahead and go with this. Joe Hendry says he wrote a song for New Day. Joe Hendry got inspired when Xavier Woods said he wanted to make a song with him, and he says he has a number already knocked out. With WWE and TNA working together for NXT Battleground, stars from both companies have teased working together, and Woods had making a song with Hendry on his to-do list for the New Day. Hendry spoke with Cultaholic and revealed that he had already written such a tune. And as he quotes, as soon as he, Xavier Woods, tweeted that, I got an idea, and it just goes, Hendry said. All the best ideas are quick and, in terms of like coming up with the main hook. So I have the hook, but I don't want to step on any toes on what you can and can't say when it comes to copyright and things like that. He continued, so I've written a song that I think would be fun for us to record, and if WWE and TNA were both cool with it, then I'd happily record with it. Hendry's theme song has made it onto singles charts, including the UK, where it peaked at number 4.
Yeah. And he pushed the fans to do that, and a lot of fans got out there, made sure that got ready. So that was awesome stuff. I hope we get to see Joe Hendry mix it up in NXT, TNA, or even... I want to see some of these main roster... I'm like, why can't we get AJ back in TNA? If we're going to do a partnership, and I'm TNA, I'm working to get AJ... I'm working that big partnership to eventually get AJ Styles in a match on TNA, whether it's against Moose, whether it's against Josh Alexander, whether it's against... Steve Macklin.
No, I'd settle for Macklin.
Yeah.
I mean, AJ coming back to TNA for one more off before he retires. There's too much there. New Day and Joe Hendry teaming up to maybe take on Broke Dalla and whoever he decides to partner with. Maybe he can.
The homie Rich Swan.
Maybe
and
he.
Another partner.
Maybe maybe he can get the two boys from SmackDown. Pretty deadly. That might be on his level. Of course, they might outshine him because, well, he's AJ Francis and he can't do much.
Why are we talking about bottom dollar again?
Well, because he decided to go for low shoots. I went for something that was completely practical laughing, and he wanted to go dirty. So, anyways, no. And we were talking about Joe Hendry.
Fruit.
He at one time he called himself top. I'm just saying he's a bottom.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying AJ Francis and Joe Hendry are still in this feud. This is where,
Yes.
AJ Francis is not happy because people were chanting for Joe Hendry at a NXT event. Sorry, AJ Francis. Go cry me a river. Not about real glass, but that Joe Hendry is better than you.
And there's our segue back to AEW.
Yeah,
There we go.
So booking for the sickos. I mean, what do we do at AEW? Again, I go back to it. I guess the war's over. I mean, there's no war. You can't tell me you're going to book for a niche audience, but you're going to compete with WWE. You're not even on the same level. I don't think you'll ever be there. I think Tony Khan started reading the WCW book, whether it was Controversy Creates Cash by Eric Bischoff or some other WCW book. I think in the beginning he dreamt of himself being the second.
It's cash.
Controversy Creates Cash. Anyways, I think he somewhere in his mind he thought he was going to be the second coming to WCW. I think he still thinks he's going to be the next Jim Crockett Promotions, but I don't know what Jim Crockett Promotions really did. He keeps bringing up, we're like Jim Crockett. Jim Crockett was under all this attack, just like back in the day when they would give out false
let's
information.
Clarify that, folks, real quick. He can say he could be Jim Crockett all he wants, but Jim Cornette, possibly one of the greatest managers ever in wrestling history, has already shut that down and said, "No, Tony, sit down. He'll never be on that level."
But anyways, I think he thought he was going to be WCW in the beginning, and it didn't happen. And now I think he's trying to pick up the book of Paul Heyman, and I think he wants to be not ECW itself, but this outlying bandit group of wrestling that's the outside friends. Yeah. I think he thinks he's going to be this outlaw brand that's going to make a bunch of noise and do something. And I'm like, I don't think so. I guess in some ways we can say Tony Khan makes Kool-Aid like Paul Heyman did because he has the weirdos. Well, I mean, look at some of the weirdos down there that are hardcore about this. I mean, if I want to point out, look at how hard Dax Hardwood goes. I love Dax. I love FTR. I do. I think they are the greatest tag team in professional wrestling right now. That is my opinion. If you don't agree, don't care. That's where I see. I think they are the greatest tag team. I don't think they're allowed to shine as bright because if you've outshined the Bucks, the Tampon Bucks, then I think you get hindered. FTR hasn't been allowed to shine like they should in AEW, but that's another opinion. Anyways, you see how hard Doc Harwood goes. Even I have to go after Miguel Z, and I know this always hurts his feelings. Even your boy Will Ospreay has drank from the great Kool-Aid of Tony Khan, and sometimes I wonder about Bryan Danielson too. He seems to be in a different world.
It's the money, bro. It's the money. It's got to be the money.
I don't know, because I mean, he was making good money when he was a part of WWE.
But I mean,
money and travel, one of the two. Take your pick.
I might agree with you on the travel.
Yeah.
But I also think he likes to rah for whatever company he's working for.
He's rah.
He was very pro Ring of Honor when he was, part of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's true. Got that right.
I mean, the only thing I see with AEW is they keep making Punk look right. I just feel like Tony Khan just keeps making Punk look like, yeah, Punk was right. But I'm like, I feel like he wants to be this ECW coming in his mind. I'm not saying he is ECW. We've had this kind of discussion, but I want to make it clear that I'm saying I don't see him as the second coming of ECW, but I think in his mind he's like, oh, I can't be the second coming to WCW. Well, now I'm mad. I'm going to be the second coming to ECW. And in me saying that, his mind, that's what he thinks. But for me, it's just he wants to be this outlaw brand that's going to make noise, that's going to have their fan base. But I don't think it's ever going to amount to something. And I think that's another well. I think Tony Khan will be one of those people we talk about in the names of not. I'm sorry, Eric.
Fallen wrestling promoters.
I'm sorry, Bischoff. I'm sorry, Eric. I love you, Eazy-E. I don't want to offend you. I know this is going to hurt you a little bit because I'm going to have to put his name in the same list as somebody you dearly love and respect. But I feel in this instance, and I hope you understand, Eric, the way I'm putting this. I think Tony Khan will be in the list of those names of billionaires, millionaires that had money that weren't successful for whatever reason. Ted Turner, Dixie Carter, Tony Khan. Paul Heyman wasn't a millionaire but wasn't able to be successful, but that was for some different reasons than the other things. But I'm sorry, I know Eazy-E's going to be mad. I put Ted Turner and Tony Khan's name in the same sentence.
Well, for sure, because we know if you watch podcasts, you know how much respect Eric Bischoff has for Ted Turner.
Well, and that's what Eric Bischoff.
I understand exactly why you're saying what you're saying.
That's why Eric Bischoff beef with Tony Khan.
All right,
is
so if we wake up tomorrow morning and Eazy-E has tweeted at Big Tyme over here, we know what we know.
Yes,
why.
yes.
So folks, take note.
Tweeted? Don't you mean blocked?
Yes. Please don't block me, Eric. I love you. I respect you. I love your show. I love your podcast. I'm not talking. I thought Ted Turner was great. I wish Ted Turner. If the AOL Time Warner project wouldn't have pushed him out of office, maybe WCW would have had something. But it is what it is. And I'm not trying to put down Ted Turner because he deserves way more respect. But when we look at the history, if AEW goes down, Tony Khan is going to be in that list of a Ted Turner, Dixie Carter, Jim Crockett, these names, Vern Gagne, names of people who had money who tried to compete with WWE weren't able to do it.
But here's the thing, though. Jim Crockett did as good as he had with the resources he had at the time. But WCW did not make it until you had Eric Bischoff, basically because of Nitro. Getting Nitro is what put WCW in contendership.
Nitro put him in contendership, but you also got to go a little back up. When he did sign Hogan, when he brought Hogan over there, he did give some legitimacy.
If you will.
He did give some legitimacy. The WCW was more than a Southern wrestling company,
Right.
But then again, you got to remember too, Eazy-E is the one that put them in the sound studio, nice, close, and put them out there.
Well, but we got to go here. We got to start, and of course. Part 2 of the Death of WCW will be on AEW this Tuesday at 10 p.m. If you haven't seen part 1, it was really good. The Rock's back in this, so it's very interesting. This is a Rock back project. A lot of people are in here talking about it. It's great to live through this because living through the death of WCW, what killed WCW. We all love WCW. If you lived during that time era, it was great. Yep. And Bischoff's going to admit, Hogan was that first piece that made that switch, that started making people look at WCW not as a Southern wrestling company, but as a legitimate company. And then when Bischoff really got to take over and got Nitro, thanks. I mean, that's where we got to give credit to Ted Turner, because Bischoff went in there kind of like, I don't know, we need prime time. And Turner was the one who was like, hey, give him prime time on Monday night on TNT, the big station. TBS was a super station. And as I quoted, you know, I love the super station. The super station has a fond heart in my life. And I remember the days of the super station. I shared a story on Mr. Miguel's Facebook when he was talking about the Oakland A's Coliseum and my history with the Oakland A's and how I came to find the Atlanta Braves, the Superstation, WCW, all that kind of came because of the Oakland A's, really. But that's another story for another time. Anyways, the Superstation's great, and that was the Superstation. That was the first station. But when it really came down to it, TNT, the Turner Network Television, TNT, was the mainstay station. And when Turner's had given time on TNT, that blew a lot of people's minds, because that was like, wait, no, they've been on the 6:05 on Sunday nights with the main event on WTBS, which we tuned in here in California time at 3:05 and enjoyed what was there. It was a lot of fun back in the days, the ring that would go around, the small venue, and all that was great to Bischoff. But yeah, no, Bischoff and Turner and everybody who worked on it, made WCW something special, and changed the face of professional wrestling. If it wouldn't have been for Bischoff, if it wouldn't have been for Ted Turner, if it wouldn't be for WCW, if it wouldn't have been for Hogan going and finally signing with WCW, if it wouldn't have been for all these things, if Nash and Hall wouldn't have decided, hey, we've had a lot of fun, let's go see what we can do down here, and changing the landscape of professional wrestling. If all these opportunities and these things didn't play in place, I don't know where we'd be in the world of professional wrestling right now, because it would be a very, very different landscape. Because if WCW wouldn't have gone from WCW wouldn't have gone from the Southern Wrestling Company to the entertainment juggernaut that it became, would have WWE ever changed its ways? Would we still be looking at the gimmick fringe of WWE wrestling that we had back in the day with Duke the Dumpster Joshi and the Goon and Mantar and Bastion Booger and the Hog Farmer, Henry O. Godwin, and his brother Phineas I. Godwin, and the gimmicks that I think at that time we accepted because we saw a little more in it. I mean, if you're a fan at that time, you tried to get through it. But then, there were some great ones. I mean, you had Razor Ramon, the 1, 2, 3 Kid, who we knew if you ever watched ESPN and GWF, you had the Lightning Kid. And of course, Jeff Jarrett making his jump from GWF. I remember Jeff Jarrett there, and the Patriot, all these other names. But yeah. Anyways, we've gotten way off on historical factors of talking about WCW because I had to put Ted Turner's name in a sentence with Tony Khan, and I feel bad. It makes me kind of want to vomit in my own mouth, but
makes it a little sick, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, because AEW said, Tony Khan said, I'm booking for the Sickos. We know where AEW stands in its place now, and so it's just kind of like that's how you have to look at it. It's going to be booked to be a fringe wrestling company. It's going to be booked to be an outlaw. Do they have some of the best wrestlers in the world today? Yes. Are they going to spotlight them to their full potential? No. So, I mean, Okada's going to be Okada. If his in-ring work is good, it's okay.
Saraya, that's your boss.
Yes. Saraya. Yeah, when you put out a promo poster for your pay-per-view Forbidden Door with Mariah May on the front and Tony Storm and everything, and you have anybody asking, is this a pay-per-view or is this a, or is this is this going to be found behind the curtain at the old video store where you have to be 18 or older to go in and check it out?
Sorry, fellas.
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, if you look at that, it doesn't look like a promo or pay-per-view poster. It looks like a more seductive type of movie that you're like, okay,
behind the velvet curtain.
Yes. So,
yeah,
I don't know. And with the current things between Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Surikawa.
I know who you're trying to say.
Mina Shirakawa.
Shirakawa.
Yeah, Shirakawa.
With the weird love triangle. And when you have somebody, when your crowd is so quiet on your TV show, and those three women stand in the ring that you can hear somebody scream, "Threesome!" There's something wrong.
I don't know. I'm glad certain individuals stopped doing this so much. But you know,
When you have Daniel Garcia being the dancing queen, and then you try to give him a promo package to make him feel like he's important again, and you're just like, it's not going to help.
Mr. Clarke, did I take the words out of your mouth?
I know.
I just imagine when he's in the corner supposed to be doing the punch thing, and he's doing something else with the dancing. And I'm just like, no.
You mean the gimmick that we would have suspected from that guy who got kicked out of wrestling? I can't think of his name. Joey Ryan. When he's doing Joey Ryan moves that you would expect Joey Ryan, right? I'm thinking the right person, right?
Joey Ryan, yeah. That's who it is.
Joey Ryan would be doing these moves, not Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia wants to be respected as a wrestler, and
no.
I'm
be honest, Joey Ryan would be greasing himself up while he's doing it. So I mean,
but you expect Joey Ryan, you would expect him to do that. Daniel Garcia, you look at him and go.
And that was also more of an indie thing.
Yes,
it wasn't a national promotion.
When you have somebody in the corner, you're on the middle rope, and you're hip thrusting yourself in his face, it just doesn't make you look good. I'm sorry. And the dancing queen, and that's why I'm calling the dancing queen. I think Daniel Garcia is way better than that. I
don't mind the dancing gimmick for Daniel Garcia. It doesn't bother me. It is that corner spot.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
That's too much.
I think the dancing thing wouldn't bother me if I felt he was serious in the ring. You know, I'm like, this guy shouldn't be a comedy character. This is not our truth.
At least
this
Disco
is Daniel Garcia.
Inferno was serious in the ring.
Well, at least he was serious.
God, we're putting Glenn Gilberti over.
He was serious for the character he was. We understood what Glenn Gilberti is. Daniel Garcia wants to be this badass supreme wrestler like Bryan Danielson, but he looks like the dancing queen. That doesn't blend. Glenn Gilberti was a 90s disco dancer, and so you expected. Alex Wright was the dancing machine. You expected it. It made sense.
Yeah.
When you make it make sense and it's justifiable, you understand what they're doing. But even when Alex Wright became Berlin, there was a whole change, and he was serious, and he was a whole different aspect.
He quit the dancing.
Yes.
He quit the dancing. Yeah.
Daniel Garcia's dancing, it's not horrendous, but it just doesn't do anything for his gimmick of what we're supposed to package out here, where he's supposed to be this badass, like, yes, I'm going to be this. And I'm like, yeah, and then you're going to go out there and dance and destroy everything you just put in that video.
And on top of that, they continually have him lose. So how can we invest in him?
No, and then that's what happens with a lot of these guys. This is why I'm like, what does Ricochet really benefit from going to AEW? He will have a great match. He will have great wrestling. In-ring work won't be complained about, but is he going to rise above where he is today? Speaking of AEW, MJF finally returned. Lots of fanfare. Cut him out, cuts one great promo, then comes out and cuts a promo across the board. Ospreay, Swerve, everybody. He kind of takes shots at everybody. And they're going to throw him in the ring with Roosh. I love how all of a sudden they're like, we don't have anybody for MJF, so we're going to make Roosh feel like he's important. Now, granted, I know you guys have different feelings about what Roosh has done in other companies. What if you're looking at AEW, Roosh has been treated like a relegated, a backup luchador.
Well, I mean, that's how we feel with a good friend of Value of Wrestling, Lance Archer. We know he's damn good. He just booked like shit.
Looks like Jeff Cobb and Lance Archer maybe mixing up for Forbidden Door. Jeff Cobb calling out a match for Forbidden Door. Lance Archer, the Murder Heart Monster, stepping up on Twitter. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit of that. But yes, Lance Archer has also been kind of regulated to being with the former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions and the Righteous. And I thought that was a great pairing with Jake the Snake Roberts. And what have they done with it? Absolutely nothing. You tease vignettes and videos, and then you just throw it away. It's just like tonight.
And it was beautiful letting Jake be the mouthpiece.
It's just like tonight. I mean, what's his name? Made a reference to the house always wins. And Mr. Clarke made a reference to how's the House of Black going to feel. And my first thought is like, why do I care about the House of Black? What are they important for? If the house always wins, well, you know what? That one fails them too, because when's the last time the house won?
I mean, okay, so the comment came from Opa Femi. It made sense since they were in Vegas tonight.
No.
But
no, I know why they said it. I know.
It almost felt like gimmick infringement because we're so used to hearing it from the House of Black.
No, I get why he said it. We were in Vegas. I get why you made your comment. I'm just saying to me, I'm like, why do I care about the House of Black? I mean, they're just, they go, here, care about the House of Black. And we're going to make them lose. I mean, they all lost to Adam Copeland.
See, one of the things about being a longer time wrestling fan is I don't just focus on what's happening in the present. Fortunately, to me, as a solo, I still see equity in them because of what I've seen before. Granted, I understand your arguments when it comes to AEW stuff.
Yes.
I understand.
No,
It's why I don't do the podcast.
I like how he shut us down before we could get going. So
I see massive equity in the House of Black. Bloody Matthews, Malachi Black, and Brody King. I see huge. I see like this could be one of the dark stables. This could be on the level of Judgment Day. This could be on the level of like the Ministry of Darkness in a better light. The House of Black could be NWO level. The House of Black and the Bloodline. These are two cliques or two factions right now in professional wrestling that both companies are failing to give us what they should be. The House of Black should feel kind of these ravages. The lights go out. They should be attacking people. This should be a group of 3 men that feel unstoppable. And they've done it here and there. And yeah, I guess Julia Hart's still in there. I don't know. It's like they weave Julia Hart in and out of this when they feel like it. Now, granted, she's gotten herself way over. And she kind of outshines the boys nowadays, which is sad in some aspects of that. Great for her. Don't have any problem with that. But I mean, it's like these guys should be beating people up. They should be this unstoppable force. They should be the ones that the elite, as the EVPs are taking over the show, should be hiring as hitmen. That the lights should go out. They do their business, take out somebody. These should be the hitmen for the elite. They should be this unstoppable force. These should be the 3 guys that the elite, that Matthew and Nicholas Jackson are hiring to take out everyone. Not Jeff Jarrett's group. This should be the group that is terrorizing everything and making. They should be someone aligned with the elite and make the. This would even help in that style would make the elite feel more serious and more of a dominant force. Right now, no, the elite don't feel like a dominant force. Yes, they're running things. I get it. They're running the show, but do they really feel like NWOS? Like they're running everything? Like you're like, oh crap, what are they going to do this week? Are you watching to see what they're doing each week, or do you watch and go, okay, whatever, cool, next? That's the point.
I'm watching for the dumpster fire, but I mean that's just me.
Yeah, I'm with Miguel on that one.
I'm watching it as it slowly burns down. But and again,
it
I will
remind you of that meme where everything is on fire and you're just like going, everything's fine, everything's fine.
Well, that's Tony Khan. He's saying this is the safest place to work. This is where the greatest wrestle. We've got this. We're the best wrestle.
Ooh.
We are. Thank you. We are awesome. I booked for the SICKOS. Yes. As his whole thing's burning to the ground, and his dad staring at him with the stank eye from the corner, like. Anywho, and
only return on investment, dude.
I know. and if you think I'm one-sided, go watch the SmackDown review. I tore in the Triple H for not booking the Bloodline. The Bloodline need to be built as mercenaries. As I know that people are gonna be like, oh, they're just because they're Samoans, they don't need to be savages. No, but they need to be that hitman.
They do.
In this instance, they do. They need to be treated as a mafia hit team. Tama Tonga and Tongaleo.
These are the sons of King Haku. Haku was known for being a savage.
Yes.
That's how they should book him.
No, and that's my point. I mean, I hate to bring this guy up, but if you were going to reference it, the Tama Tonga and Tongaleo should be like Saddam Hussein's kid boys. They were vicious. If you go listen to their history, they were even more vicious than their daddy. And I'm like, I hate to make that comparison, but the point I'm trying to make is they need to be more savage than their dad. Maybe not island savages, but they need to be like these hitmen. I mean, again, it's like any good mafia movie. When the elder mafia, the Don, the father, he gets taken out and he goes away. The young son steps up and takes over. Solo Sikoa takes over. They are supposed to be more visceral, more dominant, more just like tearing, burning it down.
Violent.
Yes. And we're not getting that. So if you want to go at me because I don't think the elite are doing a good job, then I think the House of Black is very, very weak and just a disappointment. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a WWE shill. I'm telling Triple H he's doing the wrong thing with this bloodline. They feel like mid-carders. They look great. The visual appearance, they look great, but that follow through, These guys should be like a Dawn. This should be like a Mafia family. They should be taking out everybody and anybody. And Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis shouldn't be able to stop them. Paul Heyman should barely be able to do little things to at least maybe bring him back for a moment. Like, he needs to be like Sami Zayn kind of was when he was trying to stop Roman from totally beating Kevin Owens, but not, completely. They're doing right things with Paul, but they're the other aspects, like, you got to have it. Paul Heyman being afraid of them, like, okay, I don't want to trigger you, but hey, can we keep this together?
It's almost like we need them to be the earlier days of God, the firing squad, the loose cannons of Bullet Club.
Yes,
that's who they need to be.
Solo Sikoa has taken over the chair of the Godfather. He needs to feel like a Godfather, that young style Godfather. And these two hitmen that he brought in need to be just out there beating people with bats. I mean, it needs to be violent. It needs to be NWS violent when the NWO first came out. I need to see this to make them feel like they're at this level, like, oh crap, what are they going to do next? How are we going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? They need to be taking out everybody. Owens, Randy, Cody. There should be nobody on that roster right now that we could look at and say they can take those guys out. It should be sitting here going, okay, we shouldn't want Roman. It shouldn't be we want Roman chance because we're bored with the bloodline. It should be we want Roman because hopefully he's the key to come back and dominate this or take care of this. So I have both sides on that. Don't get it twisted. I'll hold everybody to the fire. We all do. But AEW is just it's in a place that I don't even know what you do. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen,
Back and forth.
Go ahead.
Well, I think now we're looking at it's being booked for the SICKOS, so I think the way we're going to look at it is what it is, and I mean, there's not much more we can do.
Well, I was there definitely way before you were.
Yes. Well, I
but
guess
it got to the point where.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I already know what I feel is trash about it at times. Like, I don't need to come on a podcast to talk about how much trash it is. It's prevalently obvious.
Yes. Well,
and that's why I quit doing our Wednesday podcast, because it's like, I just can't do it no more. I still watch it to a degree, but I don't necessarily watch it live.
Yeah.
Because like, I watch it on my time when I can fast forward and I can,
I guess for me,
the parts that I actually care about.
I guess for me, I just had this unending hope that maybe there would be some saving grace in this. Maybe there was some good to be salvaged out of this. But if he's booking for the SICKOS, I feel like he's telling me he knows his role and he knows his lane and he's going to stay in it, and that it's never going to be a competitor to WWE. And I know people are going to say, oh, Tony's going to compete with him. Tony's just being held back by WWE. WWE isn't doing the shit you're hearing. Why does WWE waste time? This isn't the Vince McMahon era anymore.
Oh, I got pissed off when I started reading these headlines about, WWE is giving these bad numbers about our ratings, this anything. First of all these podcasters who are reporting this, well, who is your source? You're just reporting, you're just talking to talk. Where is your proof, first of all?
Well, Meltzer did say this.
Understand it. These are old tactics Vince McMahon used back in the day, but we still don't even know that for a fact. Give us your sources. If you're going to act like a journalist, do the due diligence of a journalist.
So are you calling out Meltzer? Because Meltzer's the one who reported this. Meltzer's the one that sat down on
Clarke mad.
I'm calling out what culture? I'm calling out every podcaster that's sitting here yapping their gums, but ain't giving their sources. So we know that is actually fact. Just because you say something does not make it true.
But let me tell you, Meltzer went on his casting couch and said that it was WWE. These are old WWE tactics. That it's WWE that was giving out these false numbers. That the true ratings, the number that came out was like 122,000 people watch Collision. Why we're having this great debate about who's watching Collision, I will never understand. But Meltzer felt the need to come out and go, no, the number was like 370,000. But those numbers were given out by WWE people. WWE was feeding reporters these numbers. That is coming directly from Meltzer. So,
yes, I understand that. And again, where is your proof? Who is your source? And I'm talking about Dave Meltzer now, because he's just saying it. He's not saying,
well,
where did you hear this from?
Meltzer thinks he
wears. And again, like you have said in the past, Meltzer is a second to third hand source most of the time, where Jim Cornette, when he talks about stuff, he was there.
Yes. Because we had this conversation where we were talking about Meltzer say something, and Jim Cornette will say something. Meltzer's been on Dark Side of the Ring. Jim Cornette's been there, and I did defend Jimmy. I love Jim Cornette. I love what he does on his podcast. I think it's entertaining. If you take it too deep and get your feelings all up in it, then you're probably going to get pissy and get mad and whatever, and you're going to go block people because that's what people do these days. You get your panties in a bunch, and you start blocking people. I don't get it. I mean, what happened to the... I guess the old adage and the memes are true that Generation X is that last hardcore group that you don't want to wake us up because we don't come out and we don't care about your feelings. We're not here to play nice. We're not going to give you a safe place. We're going to come out and we're going to come out hard and we don't give a damn. And, you can't offend us because we don't get offended. We laugh it off like, that's what you say? Anywho. And we talked about it. Meltzer.
And as an elder state millennial who falls in the steps of Generation X.
Yes. Mr. Clarke's always having to be like, I'm an Xer. Sorry, I ditched the millennials. No, I'm not a part of this millennial crowd. You're welcome to join us. We have accepted you.
It, but I'm still going to say I am an elder state millennial at least.
I think I'm the only true DXer, I'm the true Xer here. I think we're all DXers. But anyways.
There you go.
There you go.
We talked about it. We talked about Dark Side of the Ring, Meltzer being there, and Jim Cornette. My comment was this, that Meltzer is only saying things that he's heard from third hands, other parties, second hand, what other people told him because Meltzer wasn't there. Jim Cornette, a lot of his stuff with Dark Side of the Ring and different stories when he's talking about this are from first-hand knowledge because he was there. He dealt with these wrestlers. When he's on those shows, he's talking from his experience. So that's where it came from. But yes, Meltzer's the one coming out here. And Meltzer self-proclaimed himself, I think, the king of wrestling reporting. I feel like he thinks he wears the crown. Or he comes off. Oh, I know. I don't give a hoot about what he thinks or how he feels. I'm just saying the way he comes off, he thinks he's the king of all this wrestling stuff. That if we are in this wrestling realm, that we must bow down to him because he's the higher supportee, the higher authority, the higher power, the higher speed.
Give him his props that he's been covering stuff since the late 70s. Granted.
Yeah.
However, he is not the end-all, be-all.
Congratulations. You had no life for, 30, 40 years. You've been reporting wrestling. You made money off of it. Congratulations. Do I care that now you're delusional and you're following around some guy because you want to give 5-7-star matches to some guy who books for what you like? No. Your opinion doesn't matter anymore because it's so one-sided. It's time to move along. And my only warning to one of your favorite people is Sean Ross Sapp, don't become Meltzer. Because sometimes even Sean Ross Sapp, I think, gets a little over himself and starts getting one-sided too. But, at least he seems to be a little more biased and doing a little better and has a lot of people that are working with him, under him, to keep Fightful
Sean
floating.
Ross Sapp does not say he's a freaking journalist.
This is true.
He says he's in wrestling media, which he is. Hell, we're in wrestling media.
Yes. We're not journalists. We just report what we can, and we try to report it to the best of our ability. But we're not going to call ourselves journalists. But we are going to be the best in this space. That's the game plan. We are going to be number one in this space. When you talk about the IWC, when you talk about the internet wrestling community, when you talk about podcasters and wrestling, I guarantee you one day you're going to see Value Wrestling at number one. When you type in wrestling podcast, that first name is going to be the Value Wrestling. That is the goal. That is what we're going to do. That is what we're going to become, and there ain't nothing anybody can do about it, and I don't care how high you sit and how great you think you are. We're coming. You can live in Atlanta, you can live in California, you can live in Utah, you can live in the middle of the state, or you can live in the great city of New York, but we're coming.
Hey, real quick, that AJ Francis fan thing on Instagram, that's the same guy that decided to share my wife's picture. He's running that. That ain't even our boy, Flop Dollar.
Dollar, break it dollar. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're about an hour and a half into the show. We still got some stuff to go through.
I have.
I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Z here, and then I will make a big announcement about what is coming up this Saturday for the Value Wrestling, which will include myself, Mr. Z, and maybe for the enjoyment of Mr. Z, for Miguel Z's very enjoyment, for his excitement, to get him revved up, to get him jolly. His best friend may also be there, as the almighty one, Marty Richards, might show up and might actually have church at this event. We don't know. Things to talk about. But let's talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, because there is breaking story coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, coming out of the Dominion event last night. The juniors, the Super Juniors, Dominion, and big news with, could we see a new member of the Bloodline? Could we see a third member of the Haku family? Is Hikuleo on his way out of New Japan Pro Wrestling and into WWE, in the Bloodline? We can discuss that, but let's talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what people can expect on Tuesday when you bring us New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast, which airs every single Tuesday with Mr. Miguel Z telling you all the details. But tonight, he's going to give you a little flavor, a little sampling, a little taste test, and we are going to talk a little more about Hikuleo.
So, folks, as you know, earlier this morning, I was up watching Dominion. This was Best of Super Junior Finals, and some of the stat card we had Moxley and Evil in a lumberjack death match. We had the IWGP tag titles and the New Japan Strong Openweight tag titles up for grabs, which, to my shocking amusement, is TMDK taking all the gold from Bushiman and Gorillas of Destiny, godsend of Hikuleo and El Phantasmo. Jeff Cobb going toe-to-toe with Tomohiro Ishii. Big spot of the night, folks, and I'll talk about it on Tuesday. Ishii doing a Hurricane Rana, folks.
Frankensteiner.
The Stone Pitbull, yeah.
He did he got up off his feet and hit a Frankensteiner. If you have not seen that clip, go search it on Twitter. Go search it somewhere. That was impressive.
You'll find it on my page. You find it on me. Like follow me on X, folks. You'll find it there.
Ishii, the man, the old man. I mean, damn. He got hops.
I know Cornette calls him the Japanese potato, but I mean, damn, that man can move.
This potato got up. Got up. And hit a beautiful Frankensteiner.
I want to still be that mobile.
I know. And then the never openweight title, my personal favorite, that ended in a no contest, double KO. Like I said, folks, we're going to talk about this more on Tuesday. I'm going to go into a deeper dive and then give you a little more knowledge about the International Wrestling Grand Prix. Why is it so important? Why people feel the way they do about Mox having the title and the way it's presented on AEW. And yes, folks, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah, Mox is your current and still IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So that's what we'll talk about more, folks. And yes, there was a lot to talk about after the matches during the press conference. And Hikuleo possibly getting his flowers.
And there was the big announcement about Forbidden Door. I guess we're going to see Moxley and wow. I just took the wind out of his sail. I just punched him in the gut. I thought oh boy had upset him, but I just disappointed him. Moxley, Forbidden Door against who? And this is the second time they're gonna go face to face.
Go ahead and say it, please. I don't want to say
I forgot who it is. Is it Naito?
Yes, it is. It's you, Naito.
So we're getting John Moxley versus Naito 2 at Forbidden Door, AEW's Forbidden Door at the end of the month for the IWGP Championship.
Miguel's like, let's go, Naito.
Yes, but and the way he let me really quick. Naito kicked off the night against Callum Newman, the young blood of United Empire. That match went 8 minutes, 8 seconds. Naito demolished him for 8 minutes. He could have ended that a lot sooner. But yes, folks, on Tuesday, you will get everything and hopefully more reports about Hikuleo. Is he leaving? Is he going to WWE? Is there more to that send-off and that brotherly hug with El Phantasmo and Jado?
Hikuleo, breaking news coming out of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion at the press conference, basically, is a lot of where this came out of. Hikuleo and El Phantasmo losing the titles, losing this match. They were somewhat heavy favorites to win, but after the loss, a lot of people are speculating, and it is breaking that Hikuleo's contract comes up is either up or is coming up within weeks.
Next couple months. They
Yes.
said a couple months at least.
So when he went backstage, he hugged
Jado.
and ELP, El Fantasmo, and then he walked off from the press conference and left them both kind of stunned. I think it was Jado who was kneeling, kind of crying in one of the pictures I seen, and leaving a lot of people speculating what the picture of Hikuleo is. Is he headed to the Bloodline? Is he headed to WWE? If they're gonna add Hikuleo to the Bloodline, they need to make this Bloodline family feel more vicious, more violent, more dangerous. Where's Jacob Fatu in this? And there are other Fatus that are still being talked about. Zilla, Journey, and there's another one that I can't think of. Zilla, Journey, and
we're gonna see Journey, hopefully. Like from what I'm hearing.
Hold on.
Yeah, we'll get into that one. But real quick, since we want to talk about Jado real quick, I want to go ahead and say this. Why Jado was emotional. Jado is like their Japanese father since them boys were young. Since Haku brought them to Japan, Jado has been more of like an uncle, a father figure to these boys. So that's where his emotion is coming from.
Okay.
Well, that says a lot.
He was there for their young boy days.
And that says a lot if that is what's going on. If they're all leaving and he's losing his children, I mean that says a lot. We'll have to wait and see. But Hikuleo, WWE, Bloodline, could it work? Does he need to go to NXT? Where's Jacob Fatu in this?
Yes.
How many bloodlines are they going to bring in? How many bloodline members are they going to bring into this? Who's really in control of all this head of the table? Is there a real tribal chief? Is there a high chief in the mix of all this? There's a lot there that's really good. I just don't feel they keep it fresh, vibrant.
Pulled the trigger properly.
Yeah,
No.
And if they add Hikuleo, if they add Jacob Fatu, they got to have this right, you know?
Yeah. Or they could be saving it for when Roman makes his return.
Well, I think Roman's going to make it.
With him?
I would think Roman would. I'm assuming that Solo Sikoa is going to become something. What he should be is becoming so egotistical that he's not going to willingly give back the head of the table to Roman. Roman's going to have to come back as babyface. He's already getting the chance, but they need to push these guys to super heels. Roman will then go to get a recovered Jimmy, and then they will have to make peace with Jay, which will be a great storyline. They'll bring in Jay. Then, if you bring in Hikuleo, you've got to bring in somebody else for that side, like a Jacob Fatu. And then, if you're saying possibly The Rock is going to be the final boss, the master heel, the high chief, and he aligns with the Solo Sikoa side, then you need to bring somebody else out, because you could have a 5-on-5 War Games. You could have The Rock with Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tongaleo, Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, Tongaleo, Hikuleo, and The Rock on one side with Solo Sikoa against Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Jacob Fatu, and another Bloodline member. Or you could fit Sammy in there.
What if, for the fun of it, they brought back Rikishi? So instead of doing it for The Rock now, he's doing it for his boys.
Well, yeah, you could bring in Rikishi to fill in that fifth role. That'd be a great one. Speaking of Rikishi, yeah. Shall we break the great news? Ladies and gentlemen, the Value of Wrestling is finally done. We've talked about it many times here. We talked about doing a lot of things, being a part of a lot of things. We are still working very closely with AJ Kirsch. Please know that will come to fruition. It's just time, place, and like I said, he is the voice of Stockton Con. We will be at Stockton Con. So AJ, if you're watching, our good buddy, our pal, our friend, me and Mr. Z are coming. So if we gotta double team you, if we gotta go 2-on-1, we're gonna get it done. But no, but we talked a lot about great things, and we finally got a invite. We are finally welcome guests by the Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling. They've invited us to come out this Saturday, June 15th. 2024 to join them at their Summer Heat event. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling is going to bring you Summer Heat Saturday, June 15, 2024, live from Lodi, California at the Lodi Great Pavilion. You can go to www.rowcw.com. That is www.rowcw.com. for details, information, and all that wonderful stuff. Tickets are on sale tickets are on sale online. If you're in the area, if you're in Lodi, if you're in Stockton, Modesto, Tracy, the Bay Area, Sacramento, Northern California, Woodland, Napa, up in the mountains, Placerville, Auburn, Truckee, if you're all the way up in Reno, if you're down in Fresno, Modesto, Madera, Clovis, if you're over in the Los Banos area, if you're over in Salinas, San Jose, Los Gatos, Santa Cruz, Aptos, Capitola, Monterey, I don't care. If you're in any of those areas, get in your car, make the drive, because it's going to be worth it. Because not only are you going to get to see some amazing wrestling, and we're going to go over to the card here in a second, you're going to get to meet us. You're going to get to meet me. Mr. Miguel Z will be there. And maybe, because Miguel loves this man, he may get some one-on-one time, face-to-face for the first time ever with Mr. Marty Richards. We could be having church with Marty Richards at the Rebel Warriors Championship Wrestling event, Summer Heat. This could be interesting. People who are going to be there, some big names. We were talking about Rikishi. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? WWE legend and Hall of Famer Rikishi is going to be live at this event. He's also having a signing. If you're going to be in the area for Friday, if you're anywhere in the Lodi area on Friday, you can come out and meet WWE legend Hall of Famer Rikishi. That is on Friday, June 14th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. at Stay Sharp Barbershop from 1 to 3:30 p.m. That is located at 218 West Pine Street in Lodi, California. Tickets include a signed poster, autographed item, and a photo op with Rikishi. Supplies are limited, and you can get your tickets today. But again, going to www.rowcw.com. That is rowcw.com. You can buy tickets for that. Now, tickets to the event on Saturday are adults, $25, kids 6 and 12, 15, kids 5 and under are free. They're all also limited, all ringside seats that may still be available for $30. Check out the website for all of that information. Rikishi, Miguel Z, and Marty Richards could sit down and have a talk. They could have a powwow. This could be interesting. Let's talk about the card. On this card, we're going to see a fatal four-way for the number one contender spot for the ROW World Championship title. I nailed it this time. Midas Creed will take on Tarzan Duran, Andrew Cass, and Al Mago. That's going to be a four-way dance that should be interesting. Some great action right there. In a Candlestick Lumberjack match, which I don't know what a Candlestick Lumberjack match is, it should be interesting. Maybe Mr. Z does, because he's over there clapping like it's the most exciting thing he's heard since AEW airing. Or maybe that's the most exciting thing he's heard since Will Ospreay signed with AEW.
There you go.
Anyways, in a Candlestick Lumberjack match, this should be an entertaining time. The 209 Click will take on the Bike Club. Of course, we got some one-on-one action when David Dutra will take on Kenny K. Jerry Gigolo will take on Michael Hayashi. And Journey Fatu. Remember the bloodline. We said this a little bit ago. We're going to get to hopefully see Journey. Journey Fatu is going to go on one-on-one with Austin Ames. Those are going to be some great matches right there. Then, still not done. I know. You're getting excited. You're salivating. This is going to be a great time. I promise you. This is going to be some entertaining stuff. Am I a hype man? Yes. That's my job. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you hyped because you're going to want to be there. You do not want to miss this event. Not only do you get to meet us, the Value of Wrestling, not only can you come out and get a free sticker. We got stickers to give away. It's going to be a blast. We may have some other things that we'll be doing there. Don't know. We're still waiting on some finalizations of details and information. But we know we're going to be there with stickers. We're going to be there doing a live podcast. We're going to be doing recordings. We're going to talk to even you, the fans. Even you can be getting on the Value of Wrestling. You could be on YouTube simply by showing up and talking to us. But the ROW Tag Team titles are going to be on the line as Money, Power, and Respect take on the High Council. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I believe this is, it's not, I'm not clear, but I'm assuming this is going to be the main event of the night. The main event. This is big news. The man that, if I'm correct, this man is kind of behind the whole Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling. Yes, Gangrel is coming to Lodi, California. The same Gangrel that was on AEW TV, the same Gangrel that was part of the Brood in WWE. Yes, that Gangrel is going to go on have a match when he goes one-on-one with the Wise guy, Nick Ruiz, in the main event of this awesome card. So come out, check it out. Come check us out. Come say hi. Come visit. Come get in with us. And this is all very awesome opportunity. We owe our great gratitude to Mr. Miguel Z on this one. He was the one that's kind of put this together. So we'll give you your flowers on this one. But yeah, come out and check us out. Doors open at 5 p.m. Bell rings at 6 p.m. First bell, 6 p.m. You don't want to miss this. I don't care. You in Reading? Drive down. Gonna be worth that drive. You sitting in San Francisco listening to me right now, come on out. You in Las Vegas, come on up. It's worth the drive. It's going to be a great show. It's a Saturday. Make a weekend of it. Friday, you can go meet Rikishi, get an autograph, tickets for sale. Go do all that stuff. Is that good enough? Is that enough hype? Did I get you excited? Are you excited? I can that's the big key.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a great weekend, folks.
Oh,
and then of course we'll be back on Sunday.
Yes,
talking about everything.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, yes, I know it's gonna be a busy Saturday for us. And here's what's gonna happen. We know Clash of the Castle takes off in the morning. We're gonna watch Clash of the Castle, but here's what's gonna happen. Clash of the Castle. We'll do a whole review like we did tonight for Battleground. It'll be on your weekly roundup. It'll be a part of that. We're going to discuss the Clash of the Castle because there's going to be a lot of great stuff going down at the Clash of the Castle. Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, #2. That's going to be a damn good match. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest for the world title. That's going to be a great match. Will CM Punk show up? Will I have made the right prediction in saying CM Punk is going to show up, cost Drew McIntyre the title? Are we going to see CM Punk get booed out of Scotland? I think this is going to be amazing. This is the right way to go. Please, Triple H. If you've ever really wanted to wrestle me, the best storyline here, the way to keep Damian Priest look strong and not necessarily hurt Drew McIntyre is to have CM Punk show up and cost Drew McIntyre this match. I think this should be Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels-esque heat storyline here. Do it, please. We know that Liv Morgan is going to be in action. I think Bayley's in action. There's so much, and there's still matches being prepared all the way through. This is going to be an awesome card. A lot of great stuff going on in WWE. Clash of the Castle is going to be an exciting, awesome show. So we will be watching that, but our review show will be on Sunday because me and Mr. Miguel Z have to immediately after that show get together, head to Lodi, California to be there for the Rumble Warriors Championship Wrestling. We have a table. We're going to have a setup. We're gonna have everything. We're gonna have cameras. We're gonna have lights. We're gonna have mics. We're gonna have all this set up, and we're gonna be there live. We're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be giving out stuff. We're gonna be talking to you. So come out and support us. Come out and help us out. Come out and see us. Come out and support Realms of Warriors Championship Wrestling. Help out local indie wrestling. That's what we want to do is value wrestling. We don't only want to give you great wrestling on the big screen, but we want to talk about independent wrestling. We want to talk about these indie scenes that are out there across the country. Right now, it's in California. Yeah, we're really going to focus heavy on independent wrestling in California because that's where we're kind of located. But as we grow and develop and can move forward, who knows what indie scenes we will be able to be part of. And the great thing is if you help us support us to get to WrestleMania, we're going to get to see a lot of indie scenes, and we're going to go out there and we're going to be at these other indie shows in Las Vegas because when they do WrestleMania weekend, there's a lot of indie shows that show up and do wrestling all over the place. So trust me, we're going to be taking care of that too because we want to help develop, put a spotlight on independent wrestling because the stars of the future are in the indies right now, and we want to find these guys and we want to help them blow up. And if you're a part of Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling and you're watching this, then please let us know when we get there. We would love to talk to you. We'd love to give you some time. We'd love to do an interview. If you can't do an interview that day, but love to do one later in time, we'd love to do that. If you're an independent wrestler anywhere and you watch us, or if you know anybody who's an independent wrestler, give them the notice. Say, hey, the Value Wrestling would love to talk to you. We're not here we're not just here because you're some big name in the world of professional wrestling. If you're in wrestling, we're here to help you get that spotlight. You could be wrestling in the Armory. You can be wrestling at the local high school, in your local gym. You could be wrestling in some of these places in your local bar. If you're part of wrestling and want to, get a spotlight or get an opportunity to put your name out there, I know we're not huge yet, but we're going to be huge, and I promise you. Let us know. Reach out to us, valuewrestling@gmail.com, valuewrestling@gmail.com. Reach out to us, give us a shout out, say, hey, I'm so-and-so with this. I'd love to do an interview. It can be 30 minutes, it can be an hour. We'll give you the time because we want to help not only put a light on professional wrestling, put our opinions about what we love and hate about professional wrestling, what we would like to see, not see, but we also want to develop the independent wrestlers. We are here about all the independent scenes. Mr. Clarke is huge about that. I mean, that's why he works very diligently to give you a lot of the other stuff that I may not necessarily see as my number one priority. Or Miguel. Miguel brings you New Japan. I really focus on WWE and some of AEW. Mr. Clarke wants to talk about TNA. He wants to talk about NWA. He wants to talk about, all these other little indie fans that he can get connected with and bring it to, because that's where his real passion is, and that's why he puts so much work and effort. So we're not just here because you're a WWE guy. We're not just here because you're an AEW guy. We're here for anybody that loves wrestling, that wants time and attention. We'll give it to you. As long as it's positive. Now, if you get your panties in a bunch and block us, then, you know, I don't know what to say. But honestly, you know what? AJ Francis, if this got back to AJ Francis, we'd welcome you on the channel. We can have that discussion. We can talk about what made you upset. I have no problem. I have no qualms. I will sit down with AJ Francis and have a full-length interview where we can talk about this and discuss it and about why you felt rejected by my comments. Yeah. Tony Khan, if you want to give a small channel a chance to ask you the questions, I'm not going to be, you know, we can stay in the realm of what you feel comfortable with, but we'll ask you the questions. We're not afraid to talk to anybody, honestly. We just ask you to be respectful.
Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Yeah. Hey, fellas.
I'll talk to the champ on Bucks.
Let's just talk. We can talk.
We really don't.
Quick, Mr. Clarke, you follow NWA. How you feeling about JR Kratos in the Crockett Cup right now with his tag team?
I probably, even though I cover it a bit, I probably should, you know, follow it closer to give a real opinion.
Yeah.
I think JR Kratos, sorry about that, is a hell of a talent. Kind of waiting to see, you know, where it goes at this point.
Yeah. Because he shared a video and my son's seen it. I mean, we all know my son is a big mark for JR Kratos, and that's great. But that Samoan driver looked like he about compressed homeboy's spine. I was like, I don't think he's getting up after that.
Well, the Immortals tag team in general, Kratos and Odin, I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when he was a part of another tag team on NWA Power, and it was just like, having them together with him and JR Kratos, I think it's the smartest move they've made in a while.
Speaking of independence and independent surprises, what about your feelings about Brooke Jensen showing up in indie wrestling, playing a outlaw wrestler that's been booted from NXT, but still seeming to be under it? People referencing that he may be the scapegoat for NXT. Any thoughts and feelings about Brooke Jensen?
I won't be surprised to see him wind up at a TNA show.
Mm-hmm. I won't be surprised to see a lot of people show up at TNA. I think there's a lot of people we're going to see in TNA and NXT. I think this thing's starting off hot. We've seen Jordan Grayson. We were sharing the calls for Joe Hendry. The TNA chants at an NXT event have been pretty predominant. There is much love for TNA. And so I can't wait to see where this goes more. I'm excited about it. It's almost getting me revved up to start looking at NXT. And maybe even TNA. Maybe AEW review show goes away and we start talking about NXT and TNA. Maybe that's where the excitement is. Maybe that's the new program to watch.
You hear that, Tony? Would that hurt your feelings if we stop talking about the show?
I'm sorry.
I'm not stop watching us.
I'm not a sicko. I don't fall into that sicko mindset. Do they have some great matches? Sure. But it's like, great matches are great. If we're just going to go, okay, you're going to put these guys in the ring, give me a great match, and that's all you want me to watch for, great. But I love my wrestling that has consistency. And then when you have a group like the Elite that need a storyline, but you really don't paint a storyline, you know, it's like you can't be like half in the water, half out of the water. If you want to be just wrestling matches, then just be wrestling matches. If you want to have storylines, then you got to have them make sense.
You heard of the fans that were calling for Triple H's head about Andrade winning the Speed title, right?
Why is everybody mad at Andrade? Because everybody's saying that Triple H is holding back Andrade, that Andrade hasn't been used any better than he was in AEW, that he probably feels stupid for going to WWE because now he's just the Speed champion. Ooh. I'm like, it's something. We got to give the Speed title some time to develop and feel where it's going. I mean, it's still fresh and new. But Andrade just got back on it, and you can't shoot him to the world title picture right now with everything going on. Does he have an interesting storyline going on with Los Gatos del Familia, whatever it is? Familia, Los Gatos del Familia, I don't know.
Legado del Fantasma.
There we go, whatever.
Fantasma, yeah.
I don't,
And like I said, and I've defended it, I was like, there's nothing much going on, and Triple H this is a baby right now, and he's trying to find that right niche to get the people to watch.
Well, and I think people are like, Triple H has pretty much been in control almost a year. I get that, but Triple H was still mopping up pieces from the redacted era.
He still is.
And
Yeah,
WrestleMania was kind of his hard reset. He had the draft. We were just getting going under his full feeding of his direction of what he wants to do. We're not seeing everything yet, and not everybody can be in the main event picture right now. If you want Andrade the world title picture, that means you've got to take out AJ or Drew McIntyre. And AJ, he's looking like $1 million all of a sudden where he is and where he's being positioned. And Drew McIntyre is the man. Now, CM Punk needs to cost him this title, and we have to see where Damian Priest is going. But then you got Gunther lined up next. It's not that Andrade can't be in that world title picture eventually, but I mean, the line is there. At least in WWE, you can see a line of saying that guy deserves a title shot, that guy deserves a title shot, that guy deserves a title shot. You look at AEW and you go, who deserves a title shot? I go, Will Ospreay beat Swerve at Forbidden Door. Who do you put Ospreay against next? You really don't have anybody.
Kyle Fletcher.
No, because they'll wanna do something else other than wrestle. But anyways, I digress. I won't go down that river. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna keep the car on the road. I'm not gonna go down the left fork.
We're not sickos, man. Let's not go there.
No, we're not sickos. Exactly. I get MJF's there, but I don't. Do you think MJF is going to be able to carry this new AEW on his shoulders like he did before?
It's really hard to say because on one hand, MJF kind of put himself over more than the company did. So can he continue? It's possible, but it's still going to be an uphill battle anyway you look at it.
I mean, if you rush to MJF versus Will Ospreay at All In, isn't that like that's it? Let me ask you this question: do we want to see when Adam Cole is cleared, Adam Cole versus MJF now?
They'd have to rebuild that. Yeah. It's kind of as bad as Swerve and Keith Lee.
Yes.
And how they drop it.
And that's my point. It's like, okay, they had this storyline, but it's kind of dead. That whole Undisputed Kingdom thing is dead. And you're kind of like, do I really want to sit here and think about MJF versus Adam Cole? Yes. Do they need to do it? Yes, but they really have to try and reweave this story. And I don't know if they can. I don't know if Tony Khan has that capability. I think he's going to give you MJF versus Adam Cole just to have the match, for the match's sake, but I think it's dead. And I'm worried that they're going to rush MJF back to the top of the card because MJF is what's bringing in the ratings. So he's going to be like, okay, well, here we go. It's kind of like the Moxley era. They kept putting the belt on Moxley because that's what everybody kept liking. I think MJF will be beating... MJF may be the person that beats Will Ospreay and ends his winning streak, which is wrong because it shouldn't be MJF because he's already made. I'm like, that win should go to somebody that's going to help make him. Once Will Ospreay wins that world title, whoever beats him needs to be somebody fresh and new that needs that win. It would be really good for an Adam Cole if you could get Adam Cole back to a level where he felt important. But that's a whole revamp, restart, refresh. He doesn't need the Undisputed Kingdom. He just needs to come back to being Adam Cole. Maybe you work in Britt Baker with him as a manager of something if you're going to keep him healed. But yeah.
Tony Khan's thinking right now, Will Ospreay and Wardlow.
Mr. Z, you go out and do a great thing. No, hey, I need your full attention, sir. I need you to listen. Look right here, because you're really asking for Marty Richards to spend the whole Saturday with you. Okay. Look, I gave you flowers. You went out and did all this hard work. You got us into this event. You did all these great things. And then you come on this show right here on Sunday night, our flagship show, our Dynamite, our Raw, our flagship show, our Nitro. This is our show. And you come on here and you talk crazy smack to Tony Khan about how we want to see Will Ospreay versus Wardlow. I mean, you just want to keep putting... I didn't say you could speak. I did not give you clarification. That was your turn to speak. I am not done. You come on this show. I just gave you flowers, and you go and put your foot back in your mouth. You want me to be like you're fired again. Like I just said all that time behind because of what you did. You got this great event. You put in the legwork. You put in the effort. I gave you your flowers. I gave you your blessing. I gave you your moment to shine. I gave you your chance to take a bow. And then you want to spit in my face by telling me, Tony's thinking about Wardlow versus Ospreay all in. Yay! Go ahead.
Toast taste with that foot in your mouth.
Go ahead. What's your rebuttal? What's your statement? I'll give you the floor now. Well, at least my new ones.
I can reach my foot now. Let's be serious, guys.
I wonder if Francis can. But anyways, yeah, I've got my new ones. I got some. I got some Hey Dudes. At least mine I can throw in the washer now a lot easier. Anyways, go ahead. The floor is yours. Justify your actions.
I
If you
just
can.
simply said it. What's Tony's thinking? That's all.
You put it out there
If he
into the
puts it in the
universe.
fire
You put it
for
out
me.
there in the universe. You had to say it. There was no reason to say it. Was there any reason to say what Tony Khan might have been thinking? Because now what you've done is you gave him justification to go, well, somebody else thought it, so it must be a good idea.
Oh, no, Tony. Don't listen to me.
Remember, we were talking about Tony Khan. It doesn't take much for him to go, remember, how did Roderick Strong get a title match? Tony, I deserve a title match. You're right. Okay. So remember who we're talking about here. You say something like that, he's going to be like, somebody else said it's a good idea. Let's do it. And then I'm going to make you watch that match over and over again for 24 hours. Ospreay versus Wardlow, if that happens.
No, don't do that to me.
No, that'll be your punishment.
Tied in the chair. Make sure those eyes are open.
With Marty Richards sitting next to you, helping with commentary. Remember what you have to do this Saturday. Do you really want Marty Richards to knock at your door? Do you remember this? Remember all the things that are coming. I know you live right now in this moment, but I think you forget what's coming up this weekend.
What would be if we film that? If we film Marty knocking on my door, it'd be my son answering, and I would love to film my son running away the minute he sees Marty.
That can happen. That can happen. I have a film man. I mean, we can film that. That's not hard to do. We can make that happen.
I do have a ring. That gets recorded from my front door and inside the house.
I mean, we could do a whole
find the footage.
We could do a whole Marty at your front door. I mean, that is doable. There's no problem with that. We could get multiple angles of that if we had to, too. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at 2 hours on air. Mr. Paul, Mr. Clarke, is there anything you wanted to add other than your Joe Henry segment? Was there anything from your favorite time of the show, the Clarke Report?
Oh, he got it.
I forgot what I said. I wish I could remember what I said. It almost had him spit the water out earlier.
We had it earlier. That was my Joe Henry segment. That was it.
We believe in Joe Henry.
We do believe in Joe
Absolutely.
Henry. Joe Henry, if you want to come on and release a video with the Value Wrestling, if you want to write a song about the Value Wrestling that we at least can play on air here, we're down. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we've gone 2 hours. This is our longest official show. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who comes in and watches this. If you're watching this live, thank you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you like this, share this out. Help us grow, help us develop. If you're watching this later, drop a comment in the below what you thought about the show, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you agree with what you don't agree with. If you're AJ Francis and you need to write your little feelings out, go ahead. But reach out to us, AJ. AJ, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. Have a great interview. It could be one-on-one. It could be, two of us and you. We can work it out however you want, whatever's going to make you feel comfortable. But we'd love to have a conversation with you. Anyways, again, if you're anybody in wrestling, independent, big, small, valuewrestling.com valuewrestling@gmail.com. Email us there. Give us your details. Tell us how we can reach out to you. We'll make it happen. If you are a partner, promoter, owner, whatever of an independent wrestling company within the Northern California area, reasonably maybe at most 4 hours away from Modesto right now, we'd be happy to work with you. If you want us to come out and do a show with you or help put you over, reach out to us. We're down for all of that. Anyways, gentlemen, I think it's time to say goodnight. So long before Mr. Z opens his mouth and makes some other comment, or we have to go down the whole rate, and then he's got to get me. Then I got to rant on him some more, and then we got to put him back in his place and help him get his foot out of his mouth and all that wonderful
I'm
stuff.
just gonna go back into my corner and hide. It's okay.
Very well.
I'll watch a Will Ospreay match and cry myself to sleep.
Okay. Well, go watch your safety.
At least the New Japan one, right?
No.
Yes.
No.
Watch a good
no.
one.
If he's gonna be, he's got to go watch Safety Scissors in AEW. There you go. Back in his corner.
Good night, folks.
How do you feel about here's one. How do you feel about Jay White and the Guns making Juice Robinson an official 1/4 member of the Trios Tag Team Champions and splitting the 9 belts 4 ways? And they pretty much covered him in all the belts.
Poor Juice. Poor
Yes.
Juice.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. If you're watching this later, appreciate it. Drop a comment below. Make sure you like this video. Ring the bell for notifications so whenever we live or new content comes on the air, you'll know it. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. We are growing. We are growing. We are going to continue to go. We're going to become better and bigger than ever. And you are going to be on the ground floor and enjoy this ride. So get on it now. Promise you, it's going to be well worth it into the future. Tomorrow, we'll be back with you Monday night post-show review. Tuesdays, New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast with Miguel Z. That comes out every Tuesday. He told you what he's going to break down earlier in the show, so make sure you're here for that. Wednesdays, Dynamite review. Somebody will do it. Somebody will suffer through it. Somebody will put it out. It'll happen. Good, bad, or ugly. Otherwise, it'll be there. This week in preview, which, no, never mind. I take that back. Thursday is open. We may get something. I don't know at this time. So stay tuned. There may be some type of show on Thursday.
Said earlier, we know Jane's doing something Thursday.
So Jane AI Bot, which you may know her from 100% Mark. She is scheduled some time slot on Thursday to give you some type of content. What the program is, we don't know. She's being very hush hush about the details. She's Jane AI Bot. What can I say? She doesn't really like to talk to us much or get in. Of course, usually most of us bicker with her because she's, you think 100% Mark with her is like a thing, like it's a gimmick. It's like, no, that's the reality. But if you like it, you like it, and we're going to keep bringing that to you. Fridays we bring your SmackDown review show. Saturdays you get the Catching Up With, which talks about NXT, Ring of Honor, TNA, and NWA Power. Then on Sundays, you will have This Week in Preview is coming in the early mornings or afternoon on Sunday. And then Sunday evenings, we do the weekly roundup. And, of course, next week will be a weekly roundup where we are going to cover the Clash in the Castle, the fallout of Realm of Warrior Summer Heat event. We're going to give you all the breakdown of that event. Me and Mr. Miguel Z are going to talk that up, talk all about that. Of course, Saturday, we're going to be there live. So be ready for intermediate. We may do recorded interviews and throw them up on the channel. We've been told that we can do a live podcast from the show. I don't know how much of the actual event we are going to be covering. Hell, if we can, me and Mr. Z may do some play-by-play commentary. We may not be able to show you footage, but we may sit there and talk about it. You may watch us talk about it, so it might be partly reaction, partly play-by-play action. It could be fun that we get to dab on a little commentary. So that may be going on Saturday. We will have to see. A lot of that depends on logistics, internet, bunch of other stuff, but we'll let you know. But we are going to be there, so if you want to, come out and see us. Wherever you're traveling from, if you're near the Northern California area, if you can do it in that same day, hell, come up on Friday, spend the night. Lodi's a beautiful place. It's the wine capital of the world still. So, if you want to go taste some wine, there's plenty of wine gardens, wine sampling, wine tours that you can take.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. And then Saturday night, come join us. Realm of Warrior Championship Wrestling Summer Heat event, Lodi Great Pavilion. We're going to be there. It's going to be awesome. I promise you, it's going to be worth the drive. I don't care how far you're coming. Do it. Do it. You can do it. Yes. Is there anything else I need to mention, gentlemen? I think I've hyped up this show. We ran it over 2 hours. Anything else before we say goodnight? Fair ado. So long. Adios.
Good night, folks.
Exactly. As simple as good night, folks.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We will see you on the next one.